Hey, I heard you want a custom keyboard? But obviously that's so stressful because you don't know what switches or keycaps or case to pick out, and it's overwhelming and stuff is out of stock and wait, this keyboard is how much? Well, howdy, hey, I'm Hipyo Tech, and in this video, I'm gonna show you the best budget keyboard I have ever tried, the Crush 80. But that's not all, because this keyboard is so good that it's fully pre-built, fully in stock, and fully thawk. And in this video, I'll give you 3 reasons why you might want it, but also 3 reasons why you might not, so stick around. Now, if you're looking for a new keyboard, then the first thing I always recommend is just start trying keyboards. And this keyboard might be the best for doing that. Full disclosure, this video is sponsored by Wobkey, however, they did not review this video and they've already been paid. Now, from what I've been told, this keyboard starts at $160 US with about 10 to 15 bucks for shipping. Now you're probably thinking, Hipyo, you said budget keyboard. 160 to 175 bucks is not budget. But as I mentioned before, there's a few very important things about this keyboard that I think definitely set it apart. Now, it's not really the accessories because you get a cable, keycap puller, a couple switches, some weird gasket things, and this triangle. I swear to God, if any of you screenshot my NFT triangle, I will be so mad. Now, the first reason why you might want this keyboard is it's gonna be fully in stock with about 1,000 units, right as this video goes live, so link in the description. Now, this is great because usually the fancier a keyboard gets, the more it becomes a Kickstarter or group buy. It also comes fully packed in this carrying case, so if you wanna bring it to work or bring it to, I don't know, like a party to show your friends that you have a cool keyboard, you could. There's also this mysterious sheet of foam and, wait, what is this, ultra low latency? Okay, let them cook. Now, if you get embarrassed about having too cool of a keyboard, it also comes with this little wipey cloth, that way you can cover it. I don't recommend covering your keyboard with a wipey cloth for more than 4 hours. Now, you might recognize Wobkey as being the people who made the Rainy 75. For some people, this is a great pro. For others, it might be a bit of a con. If you have no idea what that keyboard is, it was kind of one of the best budget keyboards of last year that started an arms race to make the best budget keyboards of this year. It was by no means perfect, their customer support was incredibly lacking throughout the group buy, but to their credit, they did get all of their units delivered. But also to their credit, they learned a lot making that keyboard when they built this one. Now, if the color yellow isn't your thing, this keyboard also comes in a ton of different colors, like this purple version, or don't ask me why I have 11 of them in my closet. Like other incredibly premium keyboards, the case is made out of 6063 CNC'd aluminum that's not cast. It's got this really nice side cutout so you can move it around on your desk really easily if you're very strong like me. I'm super strong, right? Now, one reason why you might not want this keyboard is the fact that it only comes in one layout, and that's TKL. Personally for me, TKL is way too long, and I prefer a 75% keyboard that doesn't have that extra bit on the side. So that's instantly a deal breaker for me. And for some people, you might want a numpad, so that's instantly a deal breaker for you. I think the saying is, size matters. Now, usually when a keyboard is incredibly affordable, they're cutting a ton of corners. So I am very curious to see what corners they're cutting here, if any. One thing I noticed is that the bottom of the keyboard is actually a different colored metal, which is kind of cool, and when you flip it over, whoa, wait, actually it's like a two-tone type of thing going on, that's really sick. And it even has a fancy back weight, which a lot of other keyboards don't. This is a really nice aesthetic touch, however, it can also improve the sound of your keyboard if it's done properly. On the topic of build quality though, this thing is built like a tank. Like when I tap on it, I don't hear any case ping whatsoever, and wait, what's that? Oh. It stores its 2.4 gigahertz dongle in this back little pop-off thing, which is magnetic if you don't drop it. And it also weighs 2.5 kilos. Now, if I plug in the wireless dongle, then bada bing bada boom, the keyboard will turn on. Wait, why didn't it turn on? Huh. Now, are you ready for my biggest gripe so far? If you want to turn this thing on and off, you have to remove the caps lock keycap. Honestly, guys, I've given you so many suggestions, and this is the one you choose to ignore? A physical on-off switch is better than a hotkey, but carrying around a keycap puller to turn your keyboard on and off is a massive con for some people. This keyboard even has Epic Gamer RGB side glow, which you could program to be any color and maybe less gamery, and Nola has left the building. Bye. Now, pretty soon I'll also talk about the sound and feel of this thing, which is absolutely incredible and probably the most important part. But the gasket performance is really hot spotty and a little bit lackluster, which makes me think that they're using flex cuts. I'll explain that later as well. Now, on the topic of keycaps, some of the keycap designs on these colors are really nice. Like on this yellow one, you get this nice honey color, black color, and white color double shot PBT keycap. Now, are these super luxurious keycaps? No, they're probably worth about $10 or so, but that is still something that you didn't have to purchase yourself. You can swap them out at any time, similar to how you could swap out these switches, which come in 2 different options, a cocoa switch, which I have, and a frost switch from HMX, which I haven't tried, but HMX makes pretty good switches, so it's probably pretty good. However, because this board is hot swappable, you can remove these switches and swap them out with anything to your preference later. These Cocoa switches aren't my favorite as they're a fairly clacky linear switch, but if that's what you prefer, then these could be really, really nice. But so far what's absolutely insane about this thing is everything is at least mostly hitting the mark. Like, it might not hit my preferences perfectly, but there's somebody out there that would absolutely love this thing. Which brings me to the best feature. Oh, wait. I didn't just break my keyboard there. This is actually the coolest thing ever. Now, this keyboard uses magnetic clasps so that you can close the keyboard very easily and open it up very easily. No screws, no trauma, no taking off keycaps, just bada bing, bada boom. This is starting to become a bit popular, like you've seen it on the Bridge 75, the RD 75, and the implementation here is really, really solid, meaning that you could take this keyboard apart, mod it however you want, figure out all of your keyboard preferences, or even swap the case colors in just a couple seconds, because guess what? Even the PCB is magnetic. So unless you're fiddling with the battery, which is under these screws and under the back weight, you're having a completely cableless experience taking this keyboard apart. Now, my biggest complaint here is that really the only style of build for this is gasket mount with these little gasket nubs. I think this is a really big missed opportunity of also incorporating top mount and other mounting styles, but I understand that they did this on a crazy budget. However, it looks like this PCB also has ISO enter support, so that's really nice for some of you European gang. So the number 2 reason to get this thing is that it's incredibly easy to mod, which means you could find your keyboard preference as fast as humanly possible. Because the base configuration might not really be for you. However, you can swap out your keycaps, your switches, swap out some foams, and maybe you'll find something that you really love. One con that you do have to be a little bit careful at is that the foams can get stuck in the magnetic closure really easily, which I found actually improves the sound of the keyboard, but it looks really tacky. Now, as far as typing, sound, and feel goes, this thing feels absolutely immaculate. Like, these switches are incredibly creamy and smooth to type on, albeit maybe a little bit too heavy for me. And as you saw earlier, they've stuffed this thing with an incredible amount of foam, which leads to a pretty dampened typing experience as well. But what's even more insane is when you take this thing apart and remove all of the foams. So let me go ahead and do that real fast. Now, when you're taking apart your keyboard, I don't recommend you pry it apart with your strong rock climbing fingers. Instead, I suggest you remove every keycap and switch, as there's a big chance that you just break your whole keyboard. However, I'm incredibly lazy because I'm lazy and I have 11 of these in my closet. You do not have 11 of these in your closet. One really fun thing to experiment with is remove the plastic sheets from your keyboard and wave them in front of your cat so she can bless them. All of these individual sheets of foam have a way that they impact the sound of your keyboard, and I recommend you take them out. Take them out. And then put them back in one by one to figure out what your preference is. Also, don't let your cat bite your keyboard. Now, my final complaint is after removing all of these foams, even the case foam, I do feel like the keyboard has too much of a gasket performance, leading to some really awkward, uneven flex. So I really wouldn't build this thing without one sheet of case foam in here. However, what it doesn't have is really annoying ping, or really any bad sounds whatsoever, because they knock this thing out of the park as far as build quality goes. Now, the last reason why you might want this keyboard is that it supports VIA software, which is one of the best ways to customize your keyboard. You can customize macro layers to do really fancy things, or even just change the colors of your RGB. Which brings me to my conclusion, and it's that this keyboard is so good, it's almost a little bit depressing. It has a really nice sound, feel, an impeccable build quality, it's easy to mod, so it's great for beginners. The only thing to complain about here is you're not exactly buying it from an ultra reputable company with an amazing warranty, which is actually my last reason why you might not want it, because that is a big important thing for some people. But with all that being said, the Crush 80 is literally insane.